May the 10th is the 76th day from the beginning of Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. In the city of Izyum, Kharkiv region, 44 bodies of civilians were found during the dismantling of a 5-story building. The house was destroyed at the beginning of March by the occupiers. But the rubble has been cleared only now because of the constant attacks. The head of the Kharkiv Regional Military Administration Oleg Sinigubov reported about it.
Будинок був зруйнований повністю. Тобто не одна частина, не один під'їзд, а повністю будинок було зруйновано внаслідок артилерійських обстрілів окупантів.
Unfortunately, there are more such houses in the city. 80% of high-rise buildings are completely destroyed. After all, the city of Izyum is currently one of the hottest spots in the Kharkiv region. And on the way out of Kharkiv, the national police found the remains of the bodies of 3 people shot by the occupiers. One body was buried near the road. The other 2 were lying next to the destroyed car. Also near the place where the bodies were found, 2 women exploded on an enemy streamer on May the 10th. The occupiers have mined everything after themselves, and it will take more than 1 year to clear the territory of Ukraine of explosive weapons. Russian occupiers are trying to make a breakthrough at the administrative borders of Donetsk and Luhansk regions. To do this, they used the so-called scorched earth policy, a military strategy that aims to destroy everything in their way. It is what has happened to Popasna. Since May the 8th, this town has been under occupation. Also, the town of Severodonetsk has been cut off gas supply because of the never-ending shelling. The main gas pipeline was broken and depressurized. To avoid the catastrophe, the gas distribution system was shut off. There is no gas supply in the city. Serhiy Haidai, the head of Luhansk Regional Military Administration. From May the 11th, Ukraine has to stop gas transfer via the stations of Luhansk region because of the war. 1/3 of all gas supply to Europe comes via this part of Ukraine. Russian occupiers have destroyed one more piece of Ukrainian cultural heritage in the town of New York in Donetsk region. A 100-year-old steam mill was burned. This example of German architecture was built in 1903 and survived 2 world wars, but was denazified by Russian occupiers in 2022. On May the 10th, at least 3 civilians were killed in the Donetsk region. Russia hides its losses in the war in Ukraine on purpose. In order not to return the bodies of the dead to their relatives, their names are put in the lists of missing persons and their bodies are taken to the dump close to the occupied Donetsk city. The security service of Ukraine has intercepted the conversation of a Russian soldier with his wife confirming this.
Говорит, там целая, там некуда ложить, свалка. Я тебя лучше не выпал. Свалка.
Пиздец.
Высотой человеческий рост.
Вот, сука, блядь.
Говорит, тысячи. Вот это кидают, а потом им же проще сделать, что пропал без вести.
The video showing a huge fridge full of corpses of Russian occupiers has been revealed by journalists of Al Jazeera TV channel. These are the bodies of military men which Russia refuses to take back. A lot of stolen wedding rings and other golden things which belong to the Ukrainians have been found in the pockets of Russian soldiers. The presents they did not have enough time to deliver to their relatives and friends in Russia. The occupiers have just celebrated the staged parade in honor of Victory Day in Mariupol and got back to their dirty work immediately. In the occupied city, the Russians continue to clear the rubble of the building they have destroyed and to remove the bodies of the dead Ukrainians. Corpses are taken out of the city and burned in crematoria to cover up the violent crimes. Mariupol Deputy Mayor Petro Andrushenko also said that on May the 9th, the occupiers illegally deported even more Ukrainians to the uncontrolled territory. Yesterday, the occupiers deported 400 people from Mariupol, including 70 children. Rage. Just rage. This is the example of a certificate of passing the filtration camp, where the residents of Mariupol are sent to. Just a piece of paper that can really save lives. or give a chance to be evacuated. Ukraine demands such a chance for the wounded defenders of Mariupol who are now in the shelters of the Azovstal plant. The Ukrainian leaders are trying to negotiate with the occupiers the evacuation of the fighters either to the territory of Ukraine or to the third country through the extraction procedure. Instead, Russians do not stop assaulting the Azovstal plant.
Там в підвалі ми живемо, а перший, другий етаж горить.
One more military hospital was bombed. The wounded Ukrainian defenders are in terrible unsanitary conditions with open wounds and no medicine.
Люди з відносно неважкими травмами зараз доводиться або ампутацію проводити, або взагалі вони просто повільно помирають, і це жахлива смерть, це муки, дуже важкі муки, це страшні речі. І вони зараз просто в сирих підвалах гниють.
There are now more than 1,000 Ukrainian servicemen in the Azovstal bomb shelter, including hundreds of wounded. This was announced by the Deputy Prime Minister of Ukraine, Irina Vereshchuk. Also, 100,000 residents of Mariupol are waiting for a chance to escape from the city. 2 months and 4 days, the time she spent in the shelter of the Azovstal plant under the constant siege of occupiers. Mrs. Natalia was responsible for cooking in the plant's bomb shelter. The children who were also trapped there made drawings of food from their peaceful life, and Mrs. Natalia did her best to make it real of what she had. And to entertain children, she suggested calling her Mrs. Soup.
Тетя Суп, тому що діти не запам'ятали, як мене звати.
She says she is used to the name. Moreover, every soldier in the plant also has a nickname.
Уважаемые товарищи, хочу сказать, что выполняя поставленные задачи по защите наших людей на Донбассе, по обеспечению безопасности нашей Родины, российские солдаты и офицеры действуют мужественно, как настоящие герои. Наши военнослужащие сражаются стойко, с полным пониманием правоты своего дела. Никогда не откажусь от своего убеждения, что русские и украинцы – это один народ. Наши солдаты и офицеры стремятся не допустить жертв среди мирного населения. С полным пониманием правоты своего дела. Жертвуют собой, своей жизнью, чтобы спасти боевых товарищей и мирных жителей. В ходе боев и наши военнослужащие, и ополченцы Донбасса проявляют действительно массовый героизм. Наш народ гордится своими вооруженными силами. Специальная военная операция идет в строгом соответствии с графиком, по плану. Все поставленные задачи успешно решаются.